water from the floodgates into the lake. Then there's later significant quantities of water, as you know they were in 2009. And the lake levels get, say they only go to ordinary high water mark. And then you've got wave action and other, what, 18 inches in that large of a lake? You have the potential to impact private property, correct?
I'm going to say no, but I can't say that with 100% because I don't know. I mean, if the person's got a very, I can only speak for Lake Madison. That's where I have a lot more experience. There were people that had shorelines that were essentially flat. I mean, if the water level came up a foot, the water was practically up to where their house or their cottage was. And that's where, they said, where I was, I had a fairly steep slope. I could have taken a 5 or 6 foot water level rise and it really wouldn't have made any difference. But my shoreline stabilization started, I had water right up to my shoreline stabilization along with all of the other people along my side of the lake. We had riprap or concrete or some type of structure to prevent erosion of my property. But the water was right up. In fact, it was up to maybe 2 feet deep. I could step off my wall and the water was 2 feet deep. So, and that's to me, that was exactly where I wanted it. When I started seeing this beach out here, and it went out 20, 30, 40 feet, that's when I sold my cattle. I said, I'm out of here.
Do you know Richard Smith, the Lake Quonset watershed coordinator?
I was introduced to Mr. Smith this morning. Other than that, I have never met him.
And your report does refer to Mr. Smith's 2007 report, correct?
Yes, yes. Mr. Smith's report, yes.
Now, going to your report on page 6.
Page 6.
You refer to something Mr. Smith said. Third to the last paragraph. Part of lake restoration must include a stable lake water level to ensure the long-term realization of all designated uses. You're quoting Mr. Smith, is that right?
Yes, in fact, it's up there in quotes. Unfortunately, I don't have the page number down here, but yes, restore Lake Quonset to ensure the long-term full realization of all designated uses of the lake.
And then the next sentence says this level should be maintained at a level near the outlet elevation of 1650.5 feet.
Yes, that's mine.
That's yours. You're not attributing that to Mr. Smith.
No, I am not.
In fact, Mr. Smith denies that to be the case, correct?
I'm not sure that he... yeah, well, okay. That is my statement. That is my statement. That is not Mr. Smith's statement.
Have you seen the letter that Mr. Smith submitted to this board?
I have read it. I don't off the top of my head recall all of the specifics, but I have read it, yes.
Exhibit 13. Is that the letter you've seen?
I believe it is. Let's see here. Yes.
Going to page 2 of Mr. Smith's,
yes.
That's the letter, right?
Yes.
I'm going to move for admission of 13. It's already in the file. I did it in the file.
section?
I believe it's already.
Okay.
Okay,
13 will be
on exhibit 13, the third to the last paragraph on page 2.
Okay.
Mr. Smith does specifically deny that the 1650.52 maintaining the lake at that level is a watershed goal or objective that is listed in the bid analysis, correct?
Maintaining the lake level near 1650, is that the sentence you read? Just want to be sure I'm in there. The very last, page 9.
The one on, the reference to page 5.
Page
of
5.
your report.
Water reaching dry lake through the diversion ditch. Is that?
The second 5. Second page 5.
Oh, second page 5. Okay.
Okay?
Yes, according to Smith, Lake Ponset watershed goal, quote, restore Lake Ponset to ensure the long-term full realization of all designated uses of the lake.
And then the second paragraph, that he specifically denies that the 1650.5 is any part is contained in any of the watershed goals, objectives, or tasks that lake that is associated with this, correct?
That's correct. That was my statement, and I apologize to Mr. Smith that there was any misunderstanding that I was attributing that to him. That was mine, and I'm simply saying that one of these, if we're looking at restore Lake Ponset to ensure the long-term full realization of all designated uses, designated uses require a stable lake level for boating in water type sports. So I take 1650 is my statement, and again I apologize to Mr. Smith if there was any misunderstanding in my report that was attributed to him. I was just building off of his statement.
And on page 3 of the DENR Exhibit 13, could you take a look at that? There's a reference to page 9 of your report.
Where did we get
DENR Exhibit 13.
Oh, was that?
Oh.
Do I have? Oh, 13. Okay, I'm sorry.
Next page is there.
That's this one right here. Okay, page 3.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I guess it starts bottom of page 2, top of
Oh,
page
okay.
3.
Okay, I'm
You had said in your report at page 9 that maintaining the lake level would not increase the chance of substantial flooding or endanger human life. Mr. Smith takes exception to your conclusion, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
And you've read his comments that a large storm centered on Lake Ponset would immediately create flooding conditions on a lake held to artificial levels. You read that, right?
Yes, I did.
And have you changed your position as a result of that?
No, I have not.
So you're aware of that Mr. Smith has been involved in lake restoration matters, and in fact has written a report that you relied on in this case.
Yes.
And you disagree with him about whether there would be a chance of substantial flooding or endangerment to human life beyond the original permit. You disagree with him as to
Yes, I do.
whether there would be a chance of substantial flooding or endangerment to human life. And in fact, you've also looked at the chief engineer's recommendation in this matter too, haven't you?
Yes.
And you disagree with the chief engineer.
If the chief engineer said that there is an increase above and beyond the original FC5, unless the intent of FC5 was